Hi, this is Dave.
This is Tara.
And this is Adam, and you're listening to People Also Watched.
We're three industry insiders clinging onto the lower rungs of the Hollywood ladder, and we love examining movies.
Every month, studios release big-budget features, and for every one of those, there are a ton of lesser-known movies that you just might love.
So, as we cling here to the bottom of this career ladder, we're going to watch big-budget movies, but we're also going to introduce you to an older, nearly forgotten movie that people also watched.
So like and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts.
Oh, and do you enjoy social media? Well, you can follow us.
I do.
Good. You can follow us on Twitter and the Insta at People Also Watch. No ED, ladies. No ED. Join the conversation. Tell us the big budget movies coming up that you think that we should listen to. You don't listen to a movie. You should watch, and also tell the lesser known movies that we should review. We'd love to hear from you, and give us a DM. Right? That's what it's called, DM.
But don't give us an ED.
Nope.
I mean, I don't have to worry about that.
You don't,
Or
maybe.
an STD.
Oh, boy.
Gross.
Well, I want a reason to contact For Hymns. For Hymns. People also watched. Brought to you by
God.
For Hymns.
Let's hope so.
It's the year of the bear. Well, maybe not officially, but it feels that way in the movies. Well, it may not feel that exactly like that, but we have a theme with these two movies here, and we're sticking to it.
The first, Cocaine Bear. Elizabeth Banks takes on a Jaws remake that takes place in a national park in 1986. It stars Keri Russell, O'Shea Jackson, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, Alden Ehrenreich, and the late, great Ray Liotta. Cocaine Bear is still in the box office, snorting up all the cash, earning over $38 million worldwide already. So, Tara, what's your log line for Cocaine Bear?
I was just thinking about this. I actually have two. One is Ray Liotta's final epic. Is that enough? Is that the... No, okay, that's not.
I don't know if that's how Elizabeth Banks pitched it.
Yes.
That's not funny.
Ray Liotta, you will actually die in this movie.
Oh,
no,
sad.
wah. Spoiler alert, Ray Liotta died, guys, like in real life. So sorry if that's a spoiler. But okay, here's my log line. And I think it's pretty simple, and I think that's like, we don't have enough movies like this. But here's the logline for Cocaine Bear. Some drug dealers drop their cocaine out of a plane because the plane was going down, and then a bear eats the cocaine and goes on a rampage. That's
succinct.
That's the movie.
That is the movie.
I mean, sometimes it's nice to, see what, what you're going to get. And that's what you get.
Yeah. I always like it when there's 2-word titles and it tells you everything you need to know about the movie.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yep. Guys, I want to talk about we can talk about the movie itself all we want, but I also want to talk about how Ray Liotta's final film was Cocaine Bear. Because what I saw was him going to his agent being like, the last time I had a good time on a movie set? Operation Dumbo Drop. Can we get me another project that kind of hits all those same markers? I mean, we've got a cocaine movie where they're throwing cocaine out of a plane and a bear. Sold. Stop drilling.
Yeah, I'd like to work with another giant animal.
Yeah.
How do we make that happen?
It's either that or Elizabeth Banks showed up at his Hollywood mansion and Ray Liotta's there in like a bathrobe. It's open, just like hating his life, drinking at 8 a.m, and she's like, Ray, I've got it. The thing to pull you out of your downward spiral. It's Cocaine Bear, Ray. Cocaine Bear.
It's really going to take you to a new level, Ray Liotta, of exactly the character you've played for your entire career.
Your entire career.
I feel like it'll be a homage to every other character you've played.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I feel like if Elizabeth Banks came to me and was like, I'm directing a movie, do you want to be in it? I'd be like, I don't care what it is, but yes, I want to be in that movie.
Yeah, 100%.
It will be ridiculous. It will be ridiculous.
I honestly thought she did a really great job of balancing the humor and the insane bear killing. Because this movie kind of hinges on sticking with a bear eating people for 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
It's a long stretch, and there's a lot of
it's
carnage.
a long stretch.
Yeah.
There's a lot of carnage.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about Elizabeth Banks movies. I really like her. I think she's hilarious, and when she does outrageous comedy, I think she crushes every damn time. But I feel like a majority of that insane comedy came from the bear itself in this movie.
Sure.
You know, like the people are just there for the bear to tear apart. And there were some scenes throughout where I was like, all right, you're losing me. You're losing me.
Yes.
You're losing me.
Yep.
Oh, thank God the bear came back. All right, thank goodness. Yeah, it's like, you know, they have these scenes between, like, for instance, Ray Liotta's a head drug dealer. He has two underling drug dealers. And one of the underling drug dealers lost his wife recently. And
is also his son.
Right. Yes, that's right. It's Ray Liotta's son. And they have this like banter throughout the movie that is just like it's kind of supposed to be funny. It's kind of supposed to be sentimental. And I'm like, can we get? I want to get back to the bear, guys. Like there's a bear that's going after Margot Martindale. That's what. Okay, that's it. How dare they do Margot Martindale the way they did Margot Martindale in this movie? How dare they?
I thought it was spectacular. Her death was epic. Her death was epic.
Well earned.
Her death was more violent and horrific than Ray Liotta, who is the villain of the movie.
It's true.
You know,
so
usually
true.
the death in these type of movies is equal measure to how despicable the person is.
Sure.
Right.
And Margot, man, must have been the worst person in the world in this movie because
I kind of look. I think, and I applaud Elizabeth Banks for going. You know what? I mean, talk about like Quentin. This isn't like a Quentin Tarantino movie, but the level of like just blatant. Anybody you see on screen could just die.
Yep.
Like a horrible bear death, right?
Yeah.
Like I kind of love it, and I kind of love it with no regard. If you're just like cross this bear's path, you're likely gonna die in a pretty epic way. And I kind of like that she really embraced like the broad, gruesome comedy of it. And I think like Adam and I went to see this together, and I think there were at least 3 or 4 points where you and I cackled like at the exact same moment, and the other 4 people in the theater were silent. And I was like, that was so spectacular of a death, and these people are like, and we're like, ah!
The one that just horrified me was when the 2 EMTs go to pick up what is her name?
Margot Martindale.
Is she Wink Martindale's daughter?
There's a guy named
I don't know why I just
Wink Martindale. What?
Yeah, he's an actor from like the 50s or 60s. It doesn't matter.
Gotta look him up.
I just brought the show to a screeching halt
sure did.
for a reference that no one gets. Anyway, when they pick her up in the ambulance and they're driving away with her, and the bear jumps into the ambulance and attacks the EMTs, the one EMT who is in the back of the ambulance taking the brunt of the bear force attack gets shoved into the front of the ambulance, and he holds up his hands, and one hand just flops backwards, completely torn off at the wrist. And it was the most... I like almost vomited a little bit at that moment. It was just so surprising. Like, whoa, I didn't expect the level of gore in this movie.
I didn't either.
There was.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you know, Elizabeth Banks was completely unapologetic with the way she made this movie. She's like, there's a bunch of cocaine in the woods. Let's have these 12-year-olds do cocaine.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like maybe like what got lost is like there's essentially 3 competing storylines with a little baby 4th one about all the people who were in the woods at the time of this bear. And I feel like maybe like what got lost is that and I like that like we see different people potentially going to get eaten by this bear on cocaine, but I just feel like there was a certain amount too of, at least with the park ranger, like wouldn't she have a button that was like help, like I don't know, like it seems like there was no authority to like in real life too, like after like the police come and after all this stuff is like sort of gone, they're gonna find this bear and put it down because it's full of cocaine. And so I feel like I
it's
was
not
like,
going to
maybe
rehab.
it just was a little too scattershot.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it was definitely a concept movie, but I had enough fun. I was willing to overlook that. I loved the fact that, like, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, unrecognizable, by the way.
Unrecognizable.
I did it until I was writing the intro. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, that's funny because he showed up on screen and Tara laughed. And I'm like, why are you laughing at that random dude? And then about 30 seconds in, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. I loved it.
It took me 24 hours and Wikipedia for me to realize who it was.
But also, what a like he got to die. Just like they kept that camera on his brutal, just mauling, and I was laughing. I was like, "That's funny."
Well, I think what I really liked about the movie is that Elizabeth Banks embraced the concept of a B movie and was like, "I'm going to make a B movie that is going to be so much effing fun and bloody and ridiculous that you're going to beg for a sequel."
So here's a question.
Herons on heroin.
What Keri Russell was in this movie as like the lead. And it's funny because when I was seeing her, it takes place in the 80s, as did The Americans. So like in my mind, I was like, is this like one of her undercutter operations was actually like to get the cocaine? But anyway, and I'm sitting there going, what are you doing here, Keri? Like what you doing? Like are you like a good friend of Elizabeth Banks? Do you really like cocaine? Like what is it that got you involved?
Are you an
movie?
animal friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Matthew Rhys was the opening and he like dies immediately. So I was like, maybe she just really thought that was funny.
Wait, Matthew Rhys was in the opening?
He's the guy in the plane.
Oh my God, that was him!
Yes.
Oh my God! Oh
and he
my
has
God!
the most. By the way, guy doesn't have a single line.
Nope.
That was phenomenal.
Doesn't
you and
need one.
Adam and I, like literally scream laughed when he hit his head.
Yes.
Oh, because it was not what you expected. It was so beautiful.
I didn't realize that was Matthew Rhys.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing. You know what that was then? That was Keri Russell signed on to this movie and Elizabeth Banks being like, do you think we could just get Matthew? Could you call him? She's like, yeah, of course I can.
Like we need him for
but
like
also
4 hours.
Wasn't Margot in The Americans as well? She played Mother in the first 2 seasons.
Yep.
They just took the cast of that. They're like, you guys don't have a job right now, right? Come on.
You guys love the 80s. You all can rock the 80s look. Come on back.
Yeah.
Come hang out.
You seem very 80s-like.
Yeah. You know what? I will say a small flaw in the movie. They had the Chekhov's gun of the WWF wrestling belt.
Yeah.
That the kid. I was like waiting for that the whole movie to come back around.
Yeah.
Because they took that time to be like, check out my wrestling belt. I spent too much money on it, and he's wearing it. I'm like, is he gonna like strangle the bear with it? You know what I mean? Is he gonna use it to?
Are they gonna use it to like hold on to the side of a cliff?
Reflect light into Ray Liotta's eyes. You know, give me something. But they never did.
Or like the bear slashes at him, but he can't get through the belt.
Oh,
like, I wanted. That's what I wanted. That's what I was waiting.
As
soon as like you get the thing where the kids are with the bear, I was like, oh God, this belt's gonna save these kids. Like, yeah, I think that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Because another thing later on in the movie, when the kid first shows up, he shows off the belt and he's like, look what I got. And then later on in the movie, when they're running from the bear, his shirt flops open and you see the belt again. And I was like, oh, it's going to come back now because they're reminding us that this exists.
Right.
I wonder if it was cut.
Does nothing.
Maybe it was cut from the movie.
I bet you it was cut.
Yeah.
I bet there's a cut scene.
You know what? So there's always like the innocents in the movie. Like that die, right? There's the people that don't need to die, but like so in the beginning of the movie, there's these 2 idiot hikers, from Europe, who don't need to die, but they die. But then there's also like the female lead, and usually 1 or 2 ancillary characters, like the children, who usually in these horror movies don't die; they survive, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons they don't die, they don't survive, is like they're good. They're ostensibly good. Like, they're good people. They don't do the bad things. They turn away from, like, sin and depravity and whatever. So when she had those kids eat cocaine in the first 10 minutes of the movie, I'm like, oh, these kids are can die. They're going to die so hard. And I kind of wanted, like, the little boy to get it. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of wanted... Like he sacrifices himself by doing a flying elbow.
Yeah.
Off,
That would have been funny. Or the other thing I think the missed thing is like so the kids eat a mouthful of cocaine.
Yes, they do.
And they spit it out, but still, like, it's in their bloodstream, and there's no payoff to that.
Yeah.
Which I was like,
yes.
I either wanted to see that kid climb that tree on cocaine, or I wanted to see how the little girl got out of the attack by
cocaine,
like jumping the bear or something.
Well, and here's the thing: I'm betting all that stuff was shot. But at the end of the day, this is a Universal Pictures movie.
Right.
And I'm betting you they just backed it off. You know, they were like...
But then I'm surprised, like, why let them put mouthfuls of... I was surprised that they did that. I was surprised that guy... I was like, okay, we are allowing underage children to put mouthfuls of cocaine. But, again, everybody in this movie dies, and it's very gory, so it's an R anyway.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was so much cocaine that they took in. I mean, so much. It was literally... Because she says, how much cocaine am I supposed to do? And the boy's like, tablespoon? And my first thought was, oh, teaspoon. Yeah, okay. Oh,
no.
wait, a tablespoon?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh, I loved that. Was fucking hilarious.
That was great.
Then I was sitting there thinking, now, if you just eat cocaine, like, because they just, like, shove it into their mouth like it's sugar and then kind of spit out some of it, but does it still affect you the same way
Well,
as
that's what I'm
snorting
saying.
it?
It's in their bloodstream because it's in their mouth and on their
Yeah.
tongue. Like that's not just because they spit it out. There's still a lot of like for children.
A lot!
For children, that's a lot. That's a lot for anybody.
Yeah, Tara, you're from Reno. When you used
How
to do
dare
mouthfuls
you.
of cocaine
How
as a child.
Well, the first time I tried cocaine, it was in a similar situation.
I was being kidnapped.
I'm just saying, I know how to get away from a bear on cocaine or not with a mouthful of cocaine.
I could not stop laughing when that bear was running down the ambulance because it was on cocaine.
Yes.
Because
he was just like, the look on its face, and it was like,
Yes.
I kind of wanted more of that. I wanted like,
God. Yes.
I mean, that's where that movie got expensive, is with anything with that bear, right? Because it was a CGI bear that looked really good. And I was like, I just wanted more of what does a bear on cocaine do? Besides rub its back or like touch somebody's... I was like, what are the funny, stupid... Like, can it punch through a river? Like, what can it do?
Punch through a river.
Punch through a river?
I don't know.
That sounds like a meditative line.
I don't know. Just like, like... it seemed like I wanted the bear to do more insane things.
I like to imagine...
like when it did climb the tree to get to Jesse,
Tyler Ferguson.
Tyler Ferguson. I mean, it launched up that tree.
Yeah, which is great.
I like to imagine that Elizabeth Banks put on a motion capture suit and did a bunch of cocaine, and that's what they used as like the base for the bear in Cocaine Bear.
She's a real method director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her and Ray Liotta, they were just hanging out, doing cocaine.
The only thing more expensive than the actors in this movie was the cocaine line item budget.
Right. Yeah. And I really hope this movie does well because it cost $80 million to make, I believe someone told me.
Something like that.
Something like that.
It was a lot.
That sounds like...
It was all the
be
bear.
about right because it's the bear and the cast, I think.
And I don't know how well this movie's gonna do overseas.
Yeah.
I don't know. So what I'm hoping is we're almost at half of its budget on week 2. Like if we can get to like $100 million and we can prove this movie was like, profitable, even a small amount, we can get Cocaine Bear 2, you guys. We can get cocaine. More cocaine,
yeah.
Well, I think that, I've seen a lot of reviews about, a lot of people talking about this movie because it was actually I think it was just barely the number 2 movie on its opening weekend. And it says a lot about like what people want to see at the movies, which is like just let me watch something silly and dumb that's entertaining, that takes me on a journey. And I think, you know, again, a lot of the movies we got out of the pandemic were like these dark, thoughtful, sort of, you know, maybe slower pace, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, people want to go to the movies and see something that like they can't invent themselves, right? I would never have thought about what happens when a bear is on cocaine, and also that this is based on a true like thing that happened. Like, that's hilarious. Like, you know, whether or not the movie was the best movie I've ever seen is neither here nor there, because it was entertaining and it was fun.
Yeah, we laughed.
Yes.
We laughed the whole damn time.
And you forgot about the world for like that hour and a half.
Yep.
And by the way, Tara, you need to replace Nicole Kidman in that stupid fucking AMC ad just before the movie. That pompous, horrible person. And here's the thing: I like Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, same.
But
it's annoying.
Please shut the fuck up with your privilege. We all go to the movies. You do not go to the movies. You go into your living room or whatever.
She goes to her screening room.
It's like, because we feel.
There are people in the theater that recite that speech line for line every time I go to an AMC movie theater. There are people who will literally just yell it out loud at Nicole Kidman while she does it. And
I honestly think that, Dave, your suggestion is what would be better, and I think it would be a hit if they were smart enough, is to get me or somebody like me to do an impression of Nicole Kidman doing that whole thing. And that would be so much more entertaining. Yep. Like if I was doing, and I was like, you know, doing my version of it, that would get people to pay attention to that.
I want to see your Nicole Kidman, Tara. I want to see that. You need to write some Nicole Kidman, but.
All right, mate.
Already A+. Already A+.
Thank you.
Just one more. Because this is the first movie I've seen since Thor 4 in the theaters.
Oh, okay.
Like, I haven't been in the movie theater since July of last year. But one more kind of complaint or little AMC advice. Listen, you have about 30 minutes of trailers before the movie starts. And then you have this stupid ad. Can you please shorten that a little bit? Just shorten it. Just like, we know we're in AMC. We don't need the ad telling us how fucking great AMC. You know what? We're here. You have us. Go put the ad somewhere else where people who don't go to AMC, put it in Regal theaters, okay?
Yeah.
That way people will go, oh, AMC's a better theater. Let's fucking leave Regal. It just... And I know it's only 1 minute, but it pisses me off so much because I'm like, I've been sitting. Look, you go to a 90-minute movie and you're there for 2 hours. That's too long.
Yep.
You know, like if I want to go see a long movie, I'll go see The Hobbits and Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry, I'm all
Dave,
sidetracked here.
Dave, look out, man! Those kids are on your front lawn again.
God, get off my front lawn with your boots.
With your boots.
Yeah, because they
get your
marked the lawn
Nirvana Soundgarden kids out of here with your grunge, your flannel, your new wave sounds.
New wave sounds.
Should we go to commercial?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we
so you could get the kids off your lawn, Dave.
Now, here's a movie that people also watched. A 2020 small film starring Aubrey Plaza, Christopher Abbott, and Sarah Gadon?
Good question.
Written and directed by Lawrence Michael Levine.
Tara, you're riding that log line train. What do you got?
Oof. This one? Okay.
Already love it.
Well, we didn't say this movie's called Black Bear. I don't think anybody said this movie's called Black Bear.
I'm sorry, this movie's called Black Bear.
We did miss that.
So again, our
Guys,
very subtle philosophical connection on these movies is because this one's also about a bear, or has a bear in it. So Black Bear. Okay, so a woman who's an actor director goes to this cabin to, I guess, work on her next movie, kind of, and she goes and meets this couple, kind of, and then There's a lake.
Well, there's a lake, but like part of it is that the first half of the movie is the movie that is being made as if you're watching a movie. The second half of the movie is behind the scenes. This is what I thought, behind the scenes of that movie being made.
Right.
Except that the roles are flipped. And then
except for the roles are flipped.
So that's why I'm like,
which took me forever to figure out.
Right.
Because let me put it this way. So Aubrey Plaza plays in the first half of the movie, Aubrey Plaza plays a writer-director who goes to visit a couple. The female is like a doctorate, and the guy is a songwriter, musician.
Yeah,
and the couple is expecting a baby, and Aubrey Plaza and the dude have an affair, and the woman flips out, and they jump into spoiler alert. Don't watch this movie. And spoiler alert, here's a plot point. They get into this car accident, fade to black, come back up, and it's back at the start of the movie, but now Aubrey Plaza is playing the wife, I guess, which we don't find out until another 20 minutes. And but now we see the director and all the people making the movie, so it's like BTS of this movie. I gotta tell you, I was in it for the first half, and then the second half, I was like, what is going on, and why do I care?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave, was it you who recommended this one?
Yeah, I think so.
So,
yes.
Yeah, so we were set, by the way, people at home, to watch Cocaine Bear live. We're like, we're doing Cocaine Bear. So they're like, well, what movie can we do opposite of Cocaine Bear? And all the movies we had thrown out were movies about actual bears. Like, we talked about Grizzly Man.
Right.
We talked about The Edge. And Dave recommended Black Bear. And I was getting ready for my honeymoon and my wedding, so I didn't even watch the trailer. And Tara was like,
"No ED.
I'm into Black Bear. Done." So I assume this is a movie about bears.
Black bear.
And there's like no bears in the movie. Like the movie opens and I'm like, is Aubrey Plaza the bear?
No, the bear is why they almost get into a car accident. So there is a half a second of a bear.
The bear is like symbolic of
correct
something, I guess. Like their passion for art. Anytime a movie starts with like, I'm a young aspiring actress movie, I immediately go, bleh.
yes. I'm going to say something kind of, I hope not too insulting, because you're both actors. I'm not. But I really, what was it? The Menu felt like a very actor's movie, but in a great way.
Sure.
Like these people were really getting into these roles and performance and everything. In this movie, this felt very much like an actor's movie that an actor would think is interesting.
Yes.
And to the general public is like really not as interesting. Because I think the whole movie is about her getting to the place where she has that complete mental breakdown. And it kind of screamed of awards thirsty.
And it did well in Sundance.
I was gonna say that's why I was excited to watch this movie, because all I knew about this movie was that it was like really highly acclaimed, and like generally you're like, oh cool, Aubrey Plaza, and like I'd like to say two things. One is this movie, and this is where people are gonna get mad, kind of has me Aubrey Plaza'd out. Like I was like, I kind of get it, dude. The dark, moody, don't really know what she's thinking. Okay, fine. But I also saw Emily the Criminal this past year, and I did not think she. I don't know if you guys saw that movie.
I haven't.
I thought the movie was okay. I thought it was a good movie. I didn't buy her really at all in that movie. So I don't know why. I just, maybe it's like just, and I love her, and I just felt like this, especially the second half of this movie, and maybe it's because we are actors and we've seen this. It's like. I find it uncompelling to watch actors play crew members generally. Like like because I know what these people do in real life, and it's like half of this stuff is so just forced, right? Yep. Where you have a first AD that's going off and like having diarrhea and shitting her brains out. I'm like, okay, well, the second AD comes in and that person goes home, right? Like, there's certain elements where it's like, what? And like, you have a script supervisor who's eating a sandwich and doesn't know what line they're on.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Like, there's just a lot. I was like, I don't understand how this is moving anything forward.
The issue I have with any of these movies where it features the life or acting of going-ons of any sort of creative like this is that actors are narcissistic. Like, they think what they do, especially filmmakers, is the most important freaking thing in the world.
Absolutely.
It's not at all. There are people trying to cure cancer. We're making movies about bears who do cocaine, okay? So keep that in mind, everybody. And so when they go to tell a story, all they do is they're like, oh yeah, but this is art. And that's it. Like, that's the total amount of effort that they put into some of this crap. Like, you know what? The first 20 minutes, 30 minutes where we're dealing with the really, messed up relationship between Christopher Abbott and Sarah Padden, something like that. I'm like,
Gaden,
thank you. I'm
like,
let's follow them. Forget Aubrey Plaza.
I want to know.
Yeah, like, what is up with them? And it's a situation where the actor and the director was like, oh, well, no, wouldn't it be so interesting to be a fly on the wall in this type of situation? I'm like, yeah, that's why you make the audience the fly on the wall, and you make the movie about the people who are interesting, not this woman who used to be an actress, but now I guess she's not pretty enough, so she's going to be a director. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
So frustrating.
Yeah. But I think but I think the most important part of this movie was, and I think Dave's really going to agree with me, we talked about this, is as soon as this movie started, the important part for our audience to know is the guy, what's his name? Christopher Abbott?
Christopher Abbott.
Adam's freaking doppelganger.
100%. The whole movie I was sitting there.
And I'm like, Adam didn't tell us he was in this movie.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, Adam acts good.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, doppelganger. I literally was like, holy cow, Adam.
It was.
If I was 20 years younger and about 15 pounds lighter, sure, I could be Christopher Abbott. Because I don't know if you've seen Catch-22, the TV show, but he's the lead in that. And when that came on, everybody and their brother, because just of the way he had styled his hair and I was clean-shaven at the time, they're like, dude, is that like your stage name? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And it's very flattering, because this guy's like in shape, and he's a really good actor, and I'm like, well, that's nice. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
I'm not saying you and your acting skills are the same. I'm saying you look like
right to the groin.
No, literally, I was just like, holy crap. Like, there was some shots where I was like, that's, especially right now, you have the same beard that he has in that movie right now. And I was like, that is so crazy.
And then when part 2 of the movie started and we see the director, I thought the director was Christopher Abbott at first. I thought, the guy playing
like in real life.
Male lead in this movie is also the director.
He was, wasn't
he?
No, like the actual director.
Wait.
No, no.
Someone else plays.
Lawrence.
He
plays the director.
He plays the director in the second half of the movie.
But he's not the real director of the film.
Right.
Wait. Christopher Abbott plays the director?
Yes.
But who was the guy playing the male lead in the scene when they were doing the scene?
Just some
other guy.
Oh God, this movie fucked with my head so much I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Because I'm bad with faces anyway.
It's true.
So when I was like, oh, there he is again, and Adam's doing a really good job as the director. and then I saw the other guy, and I was like, oh, I must have mixed them up.
Yeah. This movie was very frustrating for me because
you weren't in it.
Well,
because Christopher Abbott. Was
look,
in it.
I turned it down for a reason. All right, they go to Christopher
Adam,
Abbott
honestly,
after I
like
say
if
no.
that guy needs like a photo double or a stunt double or what, I mean,
I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
should talk to Mike and be like, "Hey, dude, get me in touch with Christopher Abbott's people. I'll be the stunt double."
because they'll be like, "What the hell?"
Yeah. But it was a very frustrating movie for me to watch because it's very much an indie in its style and its
Yeah.
scripting, which drove me insane. Like there were these moments where, like, very clearly they did not give the actors any dialogue, and they just said, "I need you to get from here to there," and it was a lot of just lingering shots of stuff that I didn't find to be that interesting. That's supposed to be tense, but wasn't really tense. Like there are these moments where in the first half of the movie, Christopher Abbott and Aubrey Plaza are like the wife's gone to bed, and they do this thing where they like jump in the lake together, and they're swimming around, and it's the will they won't they moment.
Right.
And it takes no word of a lie, 10 minutes to get to them actually messing around. 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, if you're 15, right, and you don't really know what's going on, or let's say you're in college and you don't really know what's going on, but you're both in your 30s, you both knew exactly what was going to happen the minute you saw each other. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You give me this for 30 seconds of like, will they, won't they? I'm like, don't linger on this. And it's because it's an improv scene, and they're both looking at each other like, are you gonna touch me first, or should I touch you first? And what's the move? And it's like, it was so boring. It was so boring.
I agree with you on that, Adam.
The black bear.
Yeah. And also
very light. Like if a cocaine bear came in and ate Aubrey Plaza or Adam or Sarah, it would have been so awesome.
Right.
I agree. Through the whole thing, after watching it, I was like, what was the point? What was I supposed to take away from this? What was the moral? What had to be said with this movie?
So I've got this theory. I've got this theory.
Oh, I like a theory.
So Lawrence Michael Levine, or Levine, however you say it, he has made like 4 other movies, and they're all basically this movie. They're movies about 2 or 3 people going off to like some palatial, retreat in the mountains where they make this movie where nothing really happens. And my guess is that's just his, like, these are his friends' houses, and he just wants to get away for like a month or 2. And so he's like, I'm making a movie. Is that cool if we use your house? And then, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Dave, but yeah.
No.
I read a little
think
bit
that's
about this because I was like, I was when it ended, I was like, so there was no tie from the first half to the second half, and that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted was some sort of like at the last scene they're back to the original characters or something. Like I just wanted sort of nod.
They mirrored some of the dialogue in the final scene that they shot. They mirrored some of that dialogue, and then they almost shot for shot redid Christopher Abbott. Now he's sleeping with the blonde instead of Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah,
so that was kind of a tie-in for me, I guess. I don't know.
Right, but then it's like, okay, so is this her movie that she rewrote? So then what we see at the beginning is what she wrote based on that. I don't.
Well, that's why she looks at the camera at the end of the movie, Tara, because it's artsy.
Right. So that's
I thought that's right. That last scene, I thought, okay, this is now. It's like what was that movie with Jack from Titanic where he like goes in the levels of dreams?
Oh,
Inception.
Inception.
From Titanic. You mean Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, him.
I like
Leo,
that
as I like
would
to call
ever
him.
refer to Leonardo DiCaprio as Jack from Titanic.
I'm much better at giving IMDb character names in movies than I am their real name. So it was like that was the third level of Inception, but instead of getting further from reality, we're getting closer to the reality because the first level is part 1 where it is total fiction. Part 2 is the shooting of the fiction, and part 3 is the actual writing of this movie we're about to see, I think.
Oh,
I guess.
Because she starts writing Black Bear.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to force some meaning into a meaningless world.
That's just it. I hate a movie that makes me feel stupid. Because I'm not stupid. No, I mean it. Because, like, I'm sitting there at the end of the movie going...
No one's calling you stupid, Adam. No one's calling you stupid.
So I'm sitting there going...
Adam smash!
But it's like, it's one of those things where my last 4 notes of this movie are like, so is the bear her passion? Why did she call him bear in the second half of the movie? Like, I'm looking for that deeper meaning because... the way they treat it is like, this is art, and you have to understand it and get it.
Yes,
and I'm like, fuck you, bro. Fuck you, man. I read books, okay? I went to college. I should be able to
look like your lead? What about it?
Exactly. What up? What up? Do you need him to fight a bear? Call me. I'll be that guy. But it's that whole idea of, like, being, nebulous. There's no reason to be nebulous in a movie like this. Just freaking say it, do it, and let us feel the way we're going to feel about it. And it's very frustrating when they don't do that.
Yeah. So I had to read something because I was like, we were talking about this, Adam, but I was like, I had to read something about this after I watched it because I was like, I don't know what just happened. And the number one thing that I read, which I thought was like, oh, that's a fun fact, and I just liked it, was that this movie was shot with all like solar generators. It was sort of like, I think one of the only movies that was like green certified, which I thought was kind of cool.
Okay.
And so I think like it had to meet some level of like they recycled them. Anyways, I thought that was interesting, and I was like, well, that's nice to know that like you can kind of that we could be doing things like that behind the camera. I like that. Okay, cool. We're green certified, neat, love it. But then I was like reading sort of like what were the filmmakers' thoughts, and they're like, I think the moral was that like, so everybody lies all the time, and I was like, that's what I'm supposed to take. What? I mean, I get that, but okay. All right.
How is that the movie? What is that? That's not a movie.
I mean, it was like one piece that they were talking about, and I was like,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
Yeah, I guess they do talk about lying all the time. There's the one scene where, during the movie, Aubrey's like, in the first half, says, "Oh, everything I've been saying is a lie."
Well, it's interesting.
And I guess that's supposed to clue you in, but it didn't clue me in.
It didn't clue me in either.
No, not at all.
But what's interesting
I think that's a failure.
Agree. I think the entire premise of White Lotus, both seasons, is that everybody lies all the time, right? Like rich people lie.
Yeah.
And and that does it so successfully. Because you know why? There's no convoluted like plot within a plot, right? It's just like you stay with the interesting characters. We should have stayed with the first half of this movie because there were so many questions I had from the beginning that were interesting questions. Like, why does this girl immediately hate Aubrey Plaza? Like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, maybe her husband's cheated on her, or like whatever it is. It was fascinating. And then they just stopped that train and start this other one. And I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes. That's a good way of putting it. They stopped the train and just started another one, and you're like, I didn't even get a transfer ticket. What's happening?
Yep. Yeah, like what happened to the? Okay. Anyway. I feel like we should.
Shall we rate this?
Yeah, let's rate it.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a 3-tiered rating scale here. Sorry. The top, people must also watch. You got to see this movie. The middle, people could also watch. It's worthwhile. And people don't also watch. I have a feeling I can do it for all three of us. Maybe you want to, go at the count of 3. We all say it at the same time.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. People don't also watch.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you like really attractive male leads. Like if you're really into handsome.
Wait, this movie didn't have
men.
one.
Oh no, like stunning.
Again, it had a guy that looked just like you.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. You know, big crazy technology is like a deep fake where who's ever watching the movie, their face is on the lead character.
Ooh, that's fun.
When you're watching it, Adam, it's your face. When I'm watching it, it's my face. When Tara's watching it, it's someone else's face.
Also, Dave, I don't like that you just unleashed this idea. Somebody's gonna do that.
Someone's gonna jump on
Yeah,
that.
someone's gonna do this,
Someone's gonna jump on
and
that.
you're gonna have to wear special glasses, and it's gonna cost $100 per ticket at an AMC, and then I'll be watching it. It'll be me going, "Oh, going to the theaters is magic, and you have to experience it in full surround sound."
Are you gonna be
And I'm
wearing
gonna
like
hate
that?
myself?
Are you gonna be wearing that glittery suit she wears too? I assume?
Shit, yes, I am.
And I'm going to look amazing.
I take it back. I shouldn't
I'm
play
going to.
Nicole Kidman. Dave should.
Dave should play Nicole
Pull it
Kidman.
off.
Yep. Yep. Sign me up. Sign me up.
Yeah. How do we end this? Oh. So what movies or TV shows or books are you also watching?
You know what? I didn't even realize this till right now, but I stayed on a theme, you guys. I stuck with our theme because the show that I watched this last couple weeks is Blackbird. So it was a black.
Oh,
it was
yes.
A bird. I hadn't watched that show. It's a Taron Egerton. It's on Apple TV. It's good.
It
That
looked
movie's
good.
It is.
Or sorry,
It's
that TV show's
really
good.
good.
It's a TV. It's like a mini series, but
Yeah. I have that sitting on my desk, and I'm like, that's my next watch because it looks really freaking good.
It is really good.
I'm going to stay on the theme of really attractive male leads and go with because I brought it up during the podcast. If you guys haven't seen Catch-22, I highly recommend it.
Oh,
It was on Hulu.
yes.
It's a little older now. This is like 2 years old, but because I mentioned it in the show today, I figured I'd bring it up. It's absolutely fantastic. The basic premise is this is World War II, and there are the death rate of pilots in the Pacific is ridiculously high. So if you want to, all these guys want to get out of flying, right? So what they say is, I'm crazy, right? I'm crazy. And if I'm crazy, I can't fly the plane. But the way the military works is, well, if you know that you're crazy, then you're not crazy, so you can fly the plane. But the only way of getting out of the plane flying is to be crazy. So it's this beautiful, it's fantastic. It's got Christopher Abbott in it. It's got George Clooney in it. I think George Clooney actually directed a bunch of it.
Yep.
It's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So I highly recommend it.
Adam, you should consider murdering Christopher Abbott and then just taking his place, because I don't think anybody.
Yeah, you should single white female that fucker.
He laughs because he's thinking about it.
As soon as there's a shirtless scene, people will be like, "That's not Christopher Abbott." Wait a minute, bring it back, everybody. Hold on.
When did Christopher Abbott start eating so much pasta?
Yeah, cake. I've never seen so many cake riders in a rider before. Cake everywhere. It's so weird.
Chocolate, vanilla, coconut. Who has coconut cake? Okay,
Christopher Abbott's weird.
All right, Dave, what are you watching?
I'm going to recommend a comic book, actually.
Oh, cool.
The latest run of Darth Vader, Star Wars Darth Vader. It's Greg Pak. It started in 2020. It is a fantastic run. It's just so fascinating to see Darth Vader kick ass. I think it takes place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and it's just a lot of fun.
We got to go back to 2020 to read the first issue type of thing?
Yeah. The 2020, the first issue came out. It's on issue 30 now.
Okay.
But you can get the trade paperbacks of 5-6 issue arcs. The most current arc is Darth Vader dealing with Padme's handmaiden, who is kind of like this super assassin, and she's trying to get in close with Vader to kill him. And it's a fun read.
That is fun.
Cool.
Well, awesome.
So, tell us what movies you'd like us to also watch. Hit us up on Twitter or Insta at People Also Watch. No ED. I don't have a.
I got it. Thank you for bearing with us.
Oh. You know what? That was pretty unbearable.
Oh!
This show's just the bare necessities.
Oh, this has got to be murdered right now.